It's a showdown some had expected and many had feared. Egyptian riot police firing at opposition supporters in the city of Mahalla. Over 1,000 people had gathered at the local football stadium to look on as votes were being counted. Chants of "No, no, vote rigging" echoed loudly. The city was already tense. Earlier in the day, several polling stations were illegally shut. This one in particular closed its doors 4 hours early as dozens gathered in frustration, prevented from casting their votes. At another polling station, skirmishes broke out between opposition supporters, primarily from the Muslim Brotherhood, and security forces there. The Muslim Brotherhood had accused the police of standing by as ballot boxes were stuffed with forged votes in favor of the ruling National Democratic Party. As night fell, hundreds drove in their cars accompanying the police vehicles which transferred the boxes. With no international monitors allowed to oversee these elections, the locals took it upon themselves to try and monitor every phase of the vote themselves. As they watched on from the stadium stands, the tension built up. The hundreds of staff counting the votes inside, however, seemed oblivious to those who had gathered to look on. Tens of thousands of votes being counted manually under the watchful eye of the security forces. But it shortly became evident that it was the eyes of the security forces alone that were welcome.
Hundreds of supporters of the opposition gathered here to monitor the vote counting. However, the riot police gathered. They didn't want them to monitor the vote counts, and without any warning attacked the hundreds or so. As you can see, sticks flying, women screaming. There's about a couple of hundred of women here.
At this point, we were forced out of the stadium by the police. But outside, the fight continued, with riot police determined to disperse the crowds and the people of Mahalla wanting to ensure the vote counting would not be rigged. There are no exit polls to indicate who is likely to win Sunday's vote, but what most people predict is more clashes and violence regardless of who the winner is. Jamal Al-Shayal, Al Jazeera, Mahalla, Egypt.